Welcome to the Art and Hustle Gallery Conversations. Welcome here. Please introduce yourself. I'm excited to have the people know you and a little bit about what you're doing now, and then we can reverse it back to where you're from and your childhood and all of that.
Okay, well, I'm an Emmy-nominated MC, born and raised in the Bronx, New York. My rap name is T.O.N.Z. You can say Tones, Tone Z, Tone Easy, however you want to say it.
Yeah. And what are you doing that's exciting right now that I've seen?
There's a couple of things. I have some shows that's booked, and I'll be in Kentucky, Alabama. I'll be in Tennessee. That's exciting as far as performance.
Yeah.
As far as projects, I have some music that's going to be on more TV shows in the future, but we'll get to my whole connection to the whole TV thing.
Yeah.
And I just completed a behind the scenes documentary that I was filming over the past like six years of the TV show Justified, which I did the theme song for. But I filmed it all when I was in LA. I used to have my little camera with me, with just filming parties, whatever, behind the scenes stuff. So I put it together and I put it out for free, and I just entered it into some film festivals.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. So have you always been into music and videos and all of that ever since you were little?
Yeah. Grew up in the Bronx, New York. And my brother is Special K from the Treacherous 3, Kool Moe Dee, LA Sunshine. That's my big brother K. He's the one that introduced me into hip hop. But before that, the Jacksons, but see, I was a kid that listened to the Jacksons, Marvin Gaye and Temptations, but I also listened to Janis. I also listened to Janis Joplin and AC/DC. So I had a mixture of stuff.
A nice range.
So I've always been into music.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to start making music and writing lyrics until I was 9 years old. I started at 9 years old.
A regular 9 to 5 that you have to do, and then you do your music. So this is all full time.
I never had a 9 to 5 in my life.
Wow, that's amazing.
Never had a job. Now, I'm not saying that to brag, you know what I mean? But when I decided to do music full time, even as a kid, I said, look, I'm not going to do this unless I'm going to make a career out of it. It wasn't a hobby.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of rappers now saying, I just started rapping 2 years ago to get this money. It's a hustle. For them, it's a hustle. And that's cool if it's a hustle. But for me, it's in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was passionate about it. And I figured, man, I don't want to do anything that if I'm not going to dedicate my everything to. So that's what I did.
Well, that's phenomenal, because if you started at 9 and writing and doing all that stuff, and you're able to implement that all now and make it your full-time passion, how old are you now?
40 plus.
40 plus.
Don't let the no hair on your face fool you. I'm a lot older than I seem.
Yeah, like I'm 46, so I'm 40 plus too. So but I'm Asian, so I kind of look younger.
Yeah, I would have put you at least maybe 27 or something like that.
Oh, that's good. That's a huge compliment then. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. So the Asians and Black, in general, they have great skin and they technically always look younger,
And you would think with all our worry and stress that we go through, we'd have wrinkles at 10 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true. Like, I really should look a lot older than I do look, because I've had a lot of trials.
Well, it's all here.
Yeah.
It's all here. I mean, of course, it's what you put in your body.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, but it's all here, because you could literally be looking like this now, and something could really stress you out in 2 days. You look like you aged about 10 years.
That's very true. And it's really true, because I feel like when I had all of my hard times before, like I really did start absorbing all of that stress, and I did look older. And then when I started releasing all of that, I started looking younger, and people were like, "Oh, you look great." I'm like, like I got a lot of stress off of my, shoulders and back, and then you start looking younger once you let shit go.
And feeling younger, that's the main thing too. When you feel like it is gonna, people will be able to, it'll come out through your physical once you like think it, and then you start feeling it, and before you know it, it's all over you.
Yeah, because it'll be like your aura, what you're presenting out, and people can feel it when they meet you or see you or see a picture. They can just see how the energy of people and the positivity of people, and just always childhood and how you got into music and your connections, and like I'm sure there's like tons of stories that you want to share there.
I mean, maybe a couple of thousand, but
just a couple of thousand.
Yeah, a couple of thousand. We got a couple of days to do this interview. No,
well, part one, part two.
As far, we can do that. We go up to part 90. It's all good with me.
Yeah.
Well, I started writing when I was 9, so I wasn't like I didn't have a record deal at 9 years old. My mother was still taking care
Yeah.
of me. You know, I don't want to sit here.
Unless you went in like a band or something.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just started writing at a young age, and I hated school. I'm gonna put that out there. I went to school just to get out of the crib. Like I hated it.
Yeah.
So I used to write rhymes in school and all of that. And my main dream was just to get into a studio and have my voice on vinyl on a record.
Yeah.
I didn't care if the record ever came out. That was just my dream, you know, because I know how to DJ too. So I just wanted to like cut up my own song. And I started making demos and walking around with like holy sneakers, because I would take them. My mother would give me money to buy sneakers, and I would just go to the studio. You know, at 12, 11, 14 years old, I'll go to the studio, and I had all these little demos. And I used to, on the records, I used to copy the addresses, and I used to just send them. I used to send them demos,
That's passion, and that's smart hustle right there.
Yeah, man. I used to harass them too. Like, I already had a reputation amongst the record labels of, oh, this guy again. Like, you know what I mean? But because I wasn't of age, they couldn't do anything with me. And I didn't want to tell my moms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was basically like, my mother, the first offer I got, my mother was like, nah, you're too young to be doing all that. Like, you know what I mean? And so anyway, it's just, demo after demo after demo after demo. And I did a demo with Quincy Jones III, QD3, that's Quincy Jones' son.
Yeah.
And because he used to come to the Bronx and work with my brother. And I did a demo with him. And then I went to a studio called Power Play Studios in Queens. And there's a guy named DJ Doc. And DJ Doc did beats for KRS-One. He did the By Any Means Necessary album.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, he recorded it. And Doc is a good dude. So he took the demo I made and he kind of hooked it up. And I took that demo, again, sending it out. And then I sent it out to a production company, which is hell for any up and coming artist. Don't get with a production company. That's my words of wisdom to any artist out there. Don't do it.
Well, that's a great tip there, because this podcast is all about giving people tips and tricks. So how to get into the industry or whatever, or life tips. So
yeah. I there was a guy named Hollywood Impact, who passed away a year or two ago, man. So that rest in peace to him. He heard my demo, and I went down there and signed a deal with them, and
wow, that's awesome.
And they started shopping my music. This is around 88. They were shopping my music to Next Plateau, Profile Records, Def Jam, Elektra, Wild Pitch, all of these labels from back then. And it was a bidding war for me.
That's awesome.
And Select Records was the one that picked me up, and I went under the name Style at this point. It was Tony Tone and my boy DJ Mick Nice. It was supposed to be like Tony Tone and Mick Nice, like Eric B and Rakim or Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, but they changed the name to Style. And that's how I got the deal. But I signed through that production company, and they robbed me blind, man. I got the biggest advance ever at that time. I was in Billboard we was in Billboard magazine as the biggest, because a lot of those artists back then, they was only getting $10,000 to sign. Yeah. They gave me they gave the production company $90,000. I got $8,000 out of that.
That is horrible. They just
here's what they did, right?
You blind.
Here's what they did. What they would do is, and this is, be careful with these production companies. They said, "Oh, use the studio whenever you want. Use our car service whenever you want."
They start racking that up. Right?
Yep. And I'm a kid. I just wanted to go pick up my girl.
How old are you at this point?
Huh?
How old are you at this point?
I was barely in junior high school.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe 13, 14, something like I was junior high school.
So maybe like 13, 14, 15.
14, something like that. Yeah. All I wanted to do was pick my girlfriend up in a cab. That was the thing, to show up in a cab and go,
I got you a ride. Let's go.
And then get the guy to open the door, give him a couple extra dollars. So anyway, fast forward, put the album out. Did pretty good. Made a lot of videos. Got a chance to tour. Now, as far as meeting other MCs, I'm still a fan of the guys I grew up on. So I got a chance to meet, hang out, do shows with everybody from Ice-T to LL to MC Light to Latifah to Chuck, Public Enemy,
Oh,
me
all
and
the
Gang.
amazing people back in the days, man. That's awesome. 90s hip hop is like the best.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I was friends real close with Gangstar. Shout out to Black Sheep, my man Drez, Chi Ali, Just Ice. I could just keep naming mad MCs that I was cool with. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So that was like not connections. That was just people that I was just cool with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't really
Mhm.
want to call them connections. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. But
just
that was
people
like
I
your
was cool with.
first, like your album that you went out and was fully, but then the production, what happened? How did you find out that they just completely robbed you? Like how far down the line were you working with them till it happened?
When it came time for the second album, first of all, I didn't know we signed for 90,000. Even though it was in Billboard, I didn't look at the magazine. I was
Yeah.
a little kid who cared.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the next album, I found out that that one was 90,000, but the deal was it goes up 15,000 every album.
Oh, wow.
So the next album was supposed to be 105,000, the next one 120,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a call from one of the people at the label, and she had said, well, how do you feel about taking a little cut in the budget?
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking, you know, all right, well, when I found it was 90,000, the next one was 105. I'm thinking, well, what's the cut?
Yeah.
And she said 40,000, right? And I said, 40,000, damn, that's a big cut. That's only gonna leave me with, 60. No, she says the budget will be 40,000. So I said, you were moving like 60 with 70,000. Nah. So after that, I just left the label.
Oh, wow.
And I had all the other labels were saying when you leave them, come to us.
Yeah.
So I had deals with Profile and Next Plateau and Wild Pitch. Wild Pitch was the one that a guy named Stu Fine. I thought I was going to really sign with them. But what I didn't know is that all of these record label executives, they all know each other. They're all homies. So once I left, I got blacklisted. Yep. Once I left there, nobody would work with me. Like I couldn't get a deal anywhere.
Really?
Anywhere.
Wow.
There was a label overseas that wanted to sign me, and they put the word out, and I couldn't get a deal.
Oh my God.
It's just like people don't know that all of these people, they all know each other. Like even when you see these little beefs in hip hop, they're all cool with each other, man. They just do that for online, and then they hanging out in Barbados somewhere sipping daiquiris.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they're looking for publicity, so I guess like any publicity is good publicity to get people talking and spreading the word and sharing those news, right?
Yeah, yep.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Then what were you able to do after that, since they were all like blacklisting you?
Well, I was looking for deal. I had a meeting with Bad Boy. I went down there and met with Puff and a guy named Kurt Burrows. And it was a little too weird up there. I don't want to get into it, but it was weird, if you know what I mean, with Puff and all that. Walking around with his shirt off and all that was kind of strange. I just got up out of there.
Like the weird puffy stuff.
Yeah, it was the stuff you be seeing online going, he did what? Like,
like that stuff that I'm like,
that ain't my thing.
That stuff is true then.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know, I was in limbo for a while, but thanks to when 50 came out, he came out with the idea of these mixtapes. Because all the artists, we had to get DJs to put our mixtapes together.
Yeah.
50 just did it himself. You know what I mean? So I started making them myself. I had a little setup.
Because you know how to DJ, right? You wanted to DJ.
Right, but definitely. But as far as mixtapes, it was like rapping over other people's beats and then putting them together and putting it out.
Yeah.
So I used to do that, but I used to sell them overseas. So if I send a box of 30 over there, by the time the pound transfers to the dollar, if it was here, I would have made $300, right? But from over there, when it comes here, it's over like 450, almost 500.
Oh, that's awesome!
Because of the way the change. So I learned that, and I just kept putting it out over there.
Yeah. So how'd you find your contact over there?
Somebody online. This crazy. Somebody online, because I used to put my stuff out on the internet too.
Yeah.
Somebody in I don't know if it was Pakistan or Iran. It was one of those kind of places. Somebody hit me up and said, yo, they was looking at Yahoo News and there was these terrorist guys blowing up cars, but they were bouncing to one of my songs. I was like,
really?
Crazy.
Oh,
it wasn't even like I was rapping over a Dipset beat, to be honest with you. And when I seen that, I was like, oh, like if that was now, they would have said I'm the leader of the terrorists. It would have been that.
Yeah.
But somebody in the UK had seen that and then looked me up, and that was my connect out there. It was a young lady that was my connect out there, and
Yeah,
I used to just send her the boxes of CDs, and she was selling them for me.
see, that's dope. It's like whatever hustle, you never know what kind of connections might come about it, right?
Yep.
Wow.
And I still couldn't get a deal though.
Yeah,
I was just doing this.
making some money. Yeah.
But what happened was my good friend, almost like a brother to me. Well, he's like a brother to me. My boy, Mr. Noise. He's from Brooklyn, and he used to run. He used to run with Jay-Z and all of them. And I did shows with Jay-Z back in the days. You know, I know Jay from back then.
Yeah.
And so it was Jay and Russell Simmons that removed that the blackball. I was clear from, because they seen how much work I was putting in, and Russell told Noise, yo, tell him to sign up to my website. He had a website called Global Grind or something. And I was like, sign up to the website? Why? He said, just do it, man. So it might have been just I'll give you $1 million deal, but could you go over there and hand me the remote? Like, it was one of those kind of things. So if you can humble yourself and hand me the remote, then that means you humble. So I signed up to the website. Yeah. And then Jay basically just said, look, have him call up to my sister Michelle, and we'll take care of him. And they gave me Rockaway clothes and all that. And that's when I did. That was right around the time I did the theme song for the TV show. So to show love, I wore Rockaway to the Emmys. Yeah. You know, to show them some love. And that's how it happened. After that, I was good. So it took that, you go straight up. It took Russell Simmons and Jada to make that happen for me. Wow, Russell Simmons and Jay-Z, right? Wow. Well, thank God for those two, because otherwise it was like so hard for you to get, back into it. It was first, thank God for Mr. Noise who plugged me into them. Yeah. But I never talked to them. Like, I never got on the phone with them. This is just because, you got to talk to, like, I think the number now is, it was 19, but now you have to talk to 24 to 25 people before you could get to Jay-Z. Oh, wow. Unless you have his personal number, but you have to go through. Yeah. Unless you're his friend. Russell's a little easier to talk to, but I never spoke to them. I sent a thank you to them, but I never spoke to them. Really? Wow. True story. That is awesome. See, we love stories on here, because it's those stories in the backstories of like the hustle and how hard it is to get out there. And like people always see like the glitz and glamour of things now, but like people need to understand, you got to put the work in. Yeah. You have to hustle. Like this and sacrifices too. Yeah, you got to sacrifice a lot. And no, I'm not talking about just soul for people who's watching. I'm talking about, you might lose time with your girl. You might lose time with, you just, you gotta go in 100%. Yeah, I totally agree. Like once I have like a project I have in my mind and I'm passionate about it, like I'm working all hours, I'm working all day, all weekend, and because I love it, and that's how this podcast had started. Before, I was working in the fashion industry for probably 23 years, but then I got let go of my job during COVID on March of 2020. So then I was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I have 2 kids and a single mom. Like, what am I going to do? So eventually while I was working in fashion, I was always doing like a side hustle that was more of like my passion, because like fashion was just to pay the bills. That was my 9 to 5. And then afterwards I would do projects and stuff like that. So I was doing I started up Art and Hustle, and I wanted to do like art shows and help people and do more of like helping people show their art. But then pandemic hit, and it was like, okay, well, how can I pivot? So my partner was like, you just do some podcasts then, because you've met so many different types of people from different races to different cultures to different industries. It would be awesome for you to chat with them on this and get their stories. So that's how the podcast started, is just from like, all right, what's my next move? What's my next pivot? What can I do? Yeah. I mean, I've been approached to do podcasts, but I know it's time consuming. At some point I will. Yeah. It's what I mean? I just don't have the time. Yeah, I don't have the time for it to do it as much as people like yourself do it. You have to be consistent with it. Yeah. And I just don't have the time. Yeah, it's really, really time consuming. And then he taught me how to edit these. So I edit all of them myself. I film them, edit them. I'm like wardrobe. I'm like, a one-woman show on these. But then it's like that's why I started the podcast, because I love hearing people's from beginning to end to stories, and then what they're doing now, because it's good to be able to help somebody, like somebody else who wants to get into music and rap.
can hear your story of how you started and be like, okay, I
Yeah.
gotta get put the work in. I gotta, network. I just go wherever you can and put it out there.
That's a
Mhm.
fact. You can't just because this is what I tell people. I say, listen, you get back what you put in.
Mhm.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
Like it's like that with anything in life. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna work out and you want to do 5 curls, don't expect to be cock diesel in like 3 days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Same thing. You those first couple of albums, first 5 or 10, even 15 years, it ain't pop for you. You never know. In that 16th year, it might just happen. It happened for me
Yeah.
like out of nowhere. I didn't
Yeah.
know it was
Oh,
gonna happen.
yeah.
I just never stopped. Even then, I was blacklisted, and I just said, "Man, never stop.
Yeah.
They ain't beating me." Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just kept doing that shit. Like,
Yeah. And how many years were you like blacklisted for?
from '93 to 2009.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
But
long
remember, in
time.
between, in the early 2000s, I was able to make money with mixtapes and all that. But
See, that's dope. You pivoted.
yeah.
Plan B, like that's a tip for everybody. Like don't just stick to your plan A, and if plan A don't work, keep doing plan A, B, C, D, E,
That's
F,
the
keep going.
fact.
Yeah.
That is so true. I always have a plan A, B, C, D. I have
Yeah.
like, and I have a backup to a backup to a backup to a
Yes.
backup with
Yes.
everything.
Everything.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm always prepared for something no matter what happens.
Yeah. I
And I
totally
learned,
agree.
and because of the song on Justified, the TV show that I got the Emmy nomination for, I learned about having your music in TV and film.
That's dope.
So now I got songs on Fox, on NBC, or I got songs all over the place on TV shows, commercials, movies.
And then you get the royalty from all of those, right?
Hell yeah.
That's
They ain't
amazing.
keeping it. That's all me.
Mhm.
And the producer, of course, but nah, that's all me.
That's dope. Passive income right there. Once you sell it, now you got royalty and passive income.
And I keep the song. And my deal is since they got Facebook pages, they got Twitters, they got Instagrams, they have to promote the song on their pages or I won't do the deal.
Exactly. That's kind of how I feel about these podcasts, because I spend a lot of time recording them and then I edit them. And then when I put it out there and I give it to the guests, I feel like I need to make sure I tell them, like, listen, when I give it to you, can you make sure you promote it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social medias do? Because you gotta help, you have to help me. Also, I'm helping you. And some people don't do that. So then I get upset. So I need to make sure, like, before,
I got you.
like before I start the podcast. Yeah, I gotta tell
Don't worry about it. I got you. I do that with everything, even when I do collabs with people, and I'll tag them, and I'm gonna do it once. I'll like another week or so, I'll do it again, and they all
like,
hit me with
like I'll do it constantly.
I'll do it constantly. Yep. There you go. But they always hit me with the, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm like, yo, nobody's done that. Like artists you work with, they didn't share it. They go, nah, man. They paid them for the verse and they just took the money, did the verse and didn't show them they wanted extra money to tweet about it or to put it on Instagram.
No.
That ain't me, man. Nah, I got you.
No.
Even if I didn't do the song with you, I got you. If somebody send me a song, yo, can you post it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I believe in as well. If I'm working on something with somebody, I'm going to promote the shit out of it. Like no matter what, I'm going to be putting it out now. I'm going to put it next week and put it next day. And then like maybe months go by, I'm going to keep putting it out again and I'll clip it up smaller and I'll keep promoting it. So that's how I operate. But if it's not reciprocated by people, then it's like, oh, like, come on, it's free. It's free. You're not even doing anything. Just put it on your social media, right?
Yeah, but you're spreading love and you're showing support. So it's like, why wouldn't you? Like, because I look at it like, what if that was me? And you know, I got a song with which I did. I did a song with people that was much higher, and they would just do the song, and that was it.
That was it.
And then I would hit them up, man. Yo, it would be nice if you could just at least retweet what I.
Yeah. Just retweet it, reshare it. Like it's already there. All you gotta do is click the button.
That's it. Right. That's it. Yep. But you know, that's the game, man.
It is the game. It is the game. So you just keep hustling until you find certain people that appreciate, sharing the information and getting it out there. So that's super important. That's a super tip for anybody as well, is to make sure you support the people that you collab with and anybody you work with, and share it. Share the love. Okay. So then after, let's see, so how long were you working on that and what was your next project?
Well, the fact, and another thing I did with that deal is I said you can never change the theme song.
Oh, never, yeah. Right? Yeah. And it was in the contract.
Yeah, and the show went to 6 seasons. It could have went to 8, but they
Mhm.
wanted to end it on a high note.
Yeah.
So now
Oh
that
wait,
it's
well, I have a question. What was it on? HBO or what?
FX,
FX. Okay.
FX, yeah, it's called Justified, yeah.
Hmm.
And I also had some scenes in there. I talked my way into having some scenes in there, like acting.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah.
I just talked my way into it. I was
Yeah.
out in LA. I went to the set. I was like, yo, man,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst they could have said? No.
No. Yeah.
But they
Exactly.
but they were really cool, and they put me in a couple like 3 or 4 episodes. And
Hmm.
so every time it streams on Hulu and all that, I get the money from the theme song. Plus I
Yeah.
had other songs and other episodes in there, just different songs.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
man.
that's the way, man. I love
Hmm.
it. I love
Yep.
it.
So I did that, and then I just, like I said, I started having songs on Bones, the TV show Bones, ESPN,
Mm-hmm.
MTV, VH1. Like, so they weren't projects; they were just me putting songs out. And then I put out projects, albums through all of
Hmm.
this, and I
Hmm.
piggybacked off of all of that. So anytime
Yeah.
a song of mine would play on a TV show, I would release an album and piggyback off of the promo. So I don't,
Now,
because I didn't have
how
to.
did you get music into the TV shows?
I just sent it to them.
Just sent it to them. Oh.
I went to LA one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to do a deal with a sports network called Fox Sports One. Now it's popular, but at the time it wasn't even out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out there and I met with this lady, and everybody knows I'm a big Simpsons fan, right? So she took me to this place called Moe's, and it's all Simpson decorated.
Oh,
Like, you know
really?
what I'm saying? So she was trying to like talk me into working with them, which I was already going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a call. She said, "I have a call. Feel free to walk around the building."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "No problem."
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked at the directory, and I seen NBC, AMC, CBS, CW. I see all of these. I said, "Man, I went to each floor." And I just walked in and I said, "Hey, where's the promotion department?" They said, "Do you have an appointment?" I go, "Nah, I'm in the building. I'm just, meeting with Fox Sports One and them." And they said, "Hey, the office is over there." So they
Mm-hmm.
they did the intercom thing, and they let me in. I went in there, and it was almost like going to a store that just opened and you're the first customer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going, "Hey, come in. Hey, have a seat. Hey, we got these chips." It's the same. Nobody goes to see these these promotion guys. So I went in
Wow.
there and I just told them. I said, "Yeah, I did the theme song for Justified." He was like, "Yeah," and I signed deals.
Yeah.
Right? They gave me these agreements
Yeah.
that was easy to read. I didn't need a lawyer for it, and I signed
Mhm.
like 5 to 6 deals from 5 different networks
That
while she was on the
that
call. So I came back down and I said, "Yo, I just did 5 or 6 deals." So
see
that's
see
how I did it. So
that's beautiful. That's like,
Mhm.
perfect little story there for people to like
Well,
just
you got to look. You got to look at it and say, when's the next time I'm going to be in a building like that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, when's the next time I'm going to be in the vicinity of all of these networks? And what I'm going to do, just sit in the lobby waiting for her to get off the phone?
Mm-hmm.
So she was on the phone for like an hour and a half, maybe 2. And by the time I
Wow.
came back downstairs, I had agreements with five to six other networks. I think it was 6, because one
Mm-hmm.
of them was NBC. Yep.
That was a dope hustle there.
Yep. So for every time I get music, I got the direct line to them. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
go through anybody, and I just send it to them. If they take it, they take it. Some of them take it. Some of them go,
Yeah.
we don't, it doesn't fit the scene or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So you just make like a whole bunch of different things and just send them wherever people need and they can use it because
Well, I know the time. I know the times to send them in, which I'm not going to reveal.
yeah.
But I know there's a certain 2 times a year when they're really looking.
Oh, really?
And that's when I hit them with links, and it'll link to a bunch of songs. Like I said, sometimes they take them. I also put songs in independent films. I act in them and I put songs in them. There was a movie called Acceptable Damage that won a lot of awards in the UK. It was about a young girl with autism. And they asked me to do a song for it, and I sent it to them, and that won mad awards in the UK, like big awards.
Oh, that's dope.
Crazy.
Congratulations. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm loving these hustle stories of like just keep going and keep moving, man. This is awesome.
Well, I guess you could say it is a hustle, but it's more of a passion. Like, yo, just keep going. I know it seems the cliche thing everybody says, never give up, keep hope alive, but that's real.
It is real.
You can't just I'm gonna tell you what my man LL told me months ago. We was on Instagram chatting, and he just said, "Yo, man, never limit yourself." And that's
Mhm.
just stuck with me because
Mhm.
I already was not limiting myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But I was saying, I was chatting with him about something, and he
Mhm.
just said, nah, never limit yourself, man. And that stuck with me
Yeah,
even more.
but that's what you've been doing ever since you were like what, 12-year-old and like putting things out there?
Yeah, well, 9 when I started writing, but
9.
yeah, when I started getting on, yeah, like 12,
Mhm.
13.
Yeah, yeah, like
I
you
was
were
on some
pushing
little Bow
yourself,
Wow.
right?
I was the first little Bow Wow.
You were, right?
Well, and I wasn't known. I just was in my own mind.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was just
yeah.
writing. I wasn't getting deals, and I wasn't out yet. But
Mhm, mhm.
mhm.
So you know the exact time that it needs to go out there. It's probably like in between seasons or something like that, right?
Maybe
Maybe.
you ain't gonna get me to say that shit.
I know. I'm assuming just because I'm adding it up. I'm like, it's gotta be between like
Mhm.
seasons. They're gonna start a new season. They need to music.
Nah, it's a certain time. But I,
Yeah.
like I said, I know even, and sometimes I'll randomly send them stuff
Mhm.
because I don't have to go through any of these little
Yeah.
agencies that you send them your music and they got 900 million other songs, and nah, it's not
Yeah.
that. I'd rather
So
just go directly.
so what if somebody who doesn't have the connections like you have the direct line, who should they go to try to get some of their music into movies and shows and stuff?
I just laid the blueprint out. Just go to the right now, everything's online. Like find out who's the production guy
Mhm.
promotion for these networks. It's easy.
Yeah. Just look it up.
And not just the TV, it could be to your favorite cookies or your favorite chips. Like hit them up, do little
Yeah.
jingles for them. Like, why
That's
not?
true. Yeah, that's true. Commercials, everything needs music. Even all social media too. People are always using other people's music on, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of it,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Hmm.
So they could just do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
No,
mean, what, like
I agree. Yeah, yeah,
again, what's the worst that could happen?
yeah. No, I totally agree
They say
because
no.
there was one time I was working in fashion and I'm at my desk on a computer, so I get really bored sometimes. So during lunch, I
Mhm,
went to the art store and I saw like a handmade card, because I'm very crafty. I like to make things.
mhm.
And I saw this card, and this card was like really beautiful. And I was like, I can make that card and I can make a better one than that. So I
Yeah, yeah.
bought the card, looked in the back, and just sent them a letter. I'd be like, hey, do you need some more artists? Like, I would love to do some things and have it.
But you
And
see,
then, yeah. So
you
that's
know
the
what I'm
same thing
saying?
I did. That's the same thing I did. So then they called me and they're like, yeah, send us some samples. So that day I started sketching up some fashion wedding dresses, put some beads on it because it's all like dimensional. Like I
Mhm.
sketched it and added stuff. So then I sent it to him. And then I think I worked with them probably for like 10 years, So,
Evidence right there.
right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because I get into passions of things. And so I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Hmm.
It doesn't need to be perfect. I will just figure it out as I go and I will learn as I go and it just keep going.
Introduction, and I think we should do. I got an idea. Tell me if you like this, or you
Yeah,
can roll this around your head.
yeah,
Maybe we can do a almost like a help artist kind of piece, like
yeah,
every month or every whatever, and just have artists hit you up when they got questions.
yeah.
Now I'm not the aficionado of all of this, but I do have some experience, and maybe I could like drop some juice because I got a lot of knowledge, and I don't mind sharing it.
Yeah, well, that's
Like,
the
you know what I
good thing
mean?
about it, like a Q&A or whatever. We can have some
Yeah.
people ask questions and
Mm-hmm.
and I
Yep.
can
Yep.
just
Yep.
spew it out there and then put it. Yeah, no, I'm always down for like collabs and helping people and giving them tips and tricks. So that's
Yep.
cool. It's a cool idea. I like it.
Just thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me on here. And we've been meaning to do it, I know, but now I know now we can do this anytime. It's not even a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. Even if we jump on for like a quick little thing, hey, what are you working on? Let's get it out
Mhm.
there because
Yep.
I'm always trying to
Gotcha.
promote people and what they're working on. And
Hmm.
yeah, so I'm all about it. So thank you very
All right.
much for joining me here today. We'll do
No
it again
problem,
soon.
man.
Okay,
Peace
thank
and
you.
love, Linda.
Peace
All
and
right.
love.
All right.